The most painful aspect of editing and preparing this book for publication was the unavoidable yet necessary task of making Arlene Kellerman aware that the box she sold in her yard sale for $3, the same box this book is based on, sold for $2.5 million just a few months later. Everything else was easy. Once I sat down with Mrs. Kellerman, once I could finally verify where the box had been for the past 20 plus years, then all I needed to do was compile both journals from the box into this book and return Diane Sawyer's phone calls. It was truly that easy. I'd like to tell you that it was my brilliant skills as an editor that made this book what it is. I'd also like to describe the painstaking hours it took to whip the journals into readable form, but those would be lies. This book was already written when Blyden Square Books purchased the journals. It simply had to be put into electronic format, organized, edited slightly for grammar and spelling, while keeping the unique voices of the authors intact to the greatest extent possible, and then sent to the presses. On the promotional side, the mixture of hype and curiosity drove crowds to get to this book long before it even hit the market. Pre-sales alone actually qualified this book as a bestseller before its release date. All this excitement was flamed by the massive 20-plus year search for the journals, the intrigue of the actual events the book describes, the numerous unanswered questions from police and the public, the 9 pending multi-million-dollar lawsuits, the missing money, and, of course, the questions concerning the deaths of both Walker Rowe and Riley Dutcher. Any book touching on even a few of these subjects would have a big market, which is why this is not the first book to be published concerning Gopher Inc., the company that Walker Rowe and Riley Dutcher formed only days before their deaths. Since the original events took place in 1992, the subject of Gopher Inc. has been the focus of 11 books, 4 documentaries, numerous websites, and 2 feature films. The best of these were based on research and interviews. The worst were merely collections of public records and sensationalized speculation. But the truth, what actually happened and why, has never been known, at least not until now. So a book that provides answers instead of speculation, about what happened to Walker Rowe and Riley Dutcher has long been anticipated, but was never realistically expected. Walker Rowe and Riley Dutcher's reluctance to speak during the creation of Gopher Inc., as well as the seizure of all available documentation by the Rowe family, meant that there has been little first-hand knowledge before now to help answer any of the questions. However, the answers begin and end within the pages of these 2 uncensored journals.